Welcome back, Fragrance Fiend here today with Vanille Antique by Byredo, part of their Night Veils collection, which all are extracts. This one was released in 2022, but it's been one of the more popular ones from the brand as of recent, and quite sought after, despite the price. Only available in 50ml, it is $539 Australian. Very steep price point, but also for good reason. So to the note breakdown, in the top you have freesia and plum with a heart of amber, cashmere woods, lastly with a base of Madagascan vanilla beans and ciste oil. So nothing unique about the bottles themselves, no different to any other Byredo. The main cosmetic difference at the end of the day really is just that red colouring, which I'm sure is great for inhalation, so let's give it a spray. This one really does eject a very fine mist. It's not as watery as some other atomizers I've seen. This one, like most other Byredos, are just blended so incredibly smooth. There's no abrasive hit of alcohol or obscure notes that jump out at you. The freesia is actually quite minimal. You do get a touch of the florals, but it's not really that noticeable. The plum, however, does overtake that opening quite a bit, which adds a very mild fruity texture to the mix, but it really is that amber which takes over the fragrance, and then the vanilla. And the reason the price is actually as high as it is because it is real vanilla, which is one of the most expensive ingredients in perfume. 9 times out of 10, or even probably 99 times out of 100, any vanilla fragrance you smell, it's absolutely synthetic. It's definitely not cheap to harvest or produce it, and when you smell real vanilla, it'll make every other vanilla scent you've smelled previously trash. And I think because a lot of people haven't actually smelled what real vanilla actually smells like, they're probably under the assumption that it smells incredibly intense and syrupy and potent, which is actually quite incorrect. There's quite a bit of a subtle nature to this one. Despite it being an extrait, it's not going to be piercing your nostrils. It's actually very subtle with really good projection. Nevertheless, despite the price point, it does come off as a very sophisticated scent. It's really just a few of those subtle things which actually make it different compared to your everyday vanilla scent. Synthetics have come a long way over previous years, but not quite enough to replicate the nuances of the Madagascan vanilla bean. If you do like your sweeter fragrances, this one is definitely quite wearable. I mean, even in summer you can partially get away with it, even though it's more a winter orientated scent, because it honestly does smell very clean on the skin. Once again, I'm not condoning you to wear this in summer, I'm just saying it's more wearable in contrast to a lot of other amber or vanilla scents. Unfortunately, you are going to need more than the regular amount of sprays to be able to get away with being smelt wearing this. It is strong, but going the extra mile will get you the extra mile, as it does evaporate from the skin quite quickly. Like, even already I can feel it somewhat dying out. Not completely, but it doesn't necessarily have that same punch in the opening. Whereas in the past with a lot of scents like this that I've smelt before, they actually go a tiny bit further. So the complexity behind this one is somewhat minimal. It doesn't really get too advanced. I definitely favor this one more than, say, a lot of other vanilla amber scents out there, but that's just my personal preference. So as I've mentioned a few times already, the price is a tiny bit more on the steeper side. I think this range would do a lot better in 30ml, especially Rouge Chaotique. You only need 2 sprays of that one, and it is more than enough. That one really does last days on the clothing and all day on the skin. 2 different scents entirely, but considering this and that are an extrait, I expected a tiny bit more performance out of Vanille Antique. My goal for next year is getting my nose on tobacco mandarin, or mandarin tobacco, whatever it's called. I hope it's everything that I can imagine. But for now, it's definitely worth going into your local retailer and having a little spray, wearing it, and just getting that sense of what it is like to actually smell real pure vanilla. Because sometimes at the end of the day, less is more when it comes to the intensity of a perfume. Obviously, everybody wants their fragrances to last really long and often be quite projecting as well, but I don't mind something a little more personal. I used to know people that would chew through Oud Satin Mood or Rouge Chaotique, and it would literally leave the scent in the room minutes or even 10 minutes after they've actually left the room. A scent like this will definitely go unnoticed. You walk past someone, they'll definitely turn their head and pick it up, but it's not going to be one of those ones which lingers in the air well after you've left the room. But anyway, that's for today's video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you next time.